What's the major difference between modifying your means to achieve a goal and giving up? On day 3, we left the harbor of Lutra, which is where the hot trash bath was, and sailed across to the island of Siros. Coming up, you're going to hear me say the docking maneuver was stressful, but like I said in the introduction to the series, that was me trying to be diplomatic at the time. What actually happened was the captain once again gave us no preparation as far as who would be taking on what duties and how we were supposed to adequately and safely fulfill them, and he wasn't interested in answering any of our questions about them until it was too late. He waited until the last second, and it led to some very uncomfortable chaos with voices raised while trying to dock the ship. When the sailors on board the ships to the right and left of us saw how we were approaching, they also started in shouting. It was just a really stupid situation that could have so easily gone differently. As soon as the lines were secured, one of the other crew members and I quickly disappeared for some much-needed relaxation and distance from the skipper. We are now on the island of Siros. I'm totally Siros. And after another quite stressful docking maneuver, we are on our way, walking over to a nearby beach. This weird thing is my backpack, but I just had to get some gelato, and I better eat it soon because it's starting to drip. So that's all you're gonna get to see. The beach here is pretty, at least right now, I don't know if it's just this time of the year, if it's always like this on this island. It's very quiet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 other groups of people here on this whole big long beach, and I think that's also a major advantage of this kind of ocean cruising, this kind of sailing, is that if we were on a cruise ship and there was a beach this nice, this close to the ship, then it would definitely be full of people. We are over there in the marina where there's a wall that we are attached to that we can walk out onto and into the city. And when that gets full, then people start to anchor out here in the bay. So these ships are either on their anchors or there's, I think I see mooring balls out there. And those are like permanent lines that are attached to the bottom of the ocean. And then you drive the ship up to it, you grab the line, attach it to your vessel, and then you back up, and it basically works like an anchor, but you know it's going to hold because it's like attached to a big concrete block. Whereas with an anchor, you can never be really sure until you test it and then see if it holds.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
That night, everybody went out for a really great meal at a beachside restaurant. The food was good, but the atmosphere was not. Our table was pretty quiet. It was tough to relax and make small talk when everyone at the table was starting to develop an increasing level of animosity towards the person in charge of our journey. Luckily, he left to go back to the ship after dessert, and the rest of us stayed there for one more ouzo. I thought maybe I was the only one who was having a problem with his leadership style, but as soon as we were there alone, everyone started letting out their frustrations. Let me remind you that we were all paying to be there. It's not like this was a job that somebody was paying us to do. We were on vacation. Yes, we knew we would have certain duties along the way, and we were all very eager to do them, but we all agreed that the way it was happening is not what we signed up for. None of us could think of a practical reason why this guy, who was actually a very experienced sailor and in charge of the ship and its crew, wouldn't see the value in taking just a little bit of time to explain what it was he wanted us to do before it was time to do it. Something like, "So Morgan, I'm gonna have you on the starboard side aft line this time. Let's take a minute to go over what you have to do and what could go wrong now so that you're prepared when we get there. First, you have to, and so on. I mean, we're talking about maybe 5 minutes per person to save so much stress and possible damage to the ship and vessels around us. We even asked for explanations in advance and he refused. He waited until it was time and then basically just started screaming at us, which would also work if we knew what we were doing, but we didn't because he didn't tell us. After dinner, we made it back just as the sun was setting, and I sat up on deck trying to focus on the positive. The beautiful beaches and the cool small villages we were getting to see, just being out on the ocean and in the sun. There were a lot of great things about it so far, but I'm a 40-something-year-old man who has achieved quite a few things in my life, and I don't need to pay somebody to scream at me and belittle me. Do you know what I mean? The possibility that I could maybe just leave hadn't crossed my mind yet. Even though I was uncomfortable, I guess I was worried about giving up. But what's the major difference between modifying your means to achieve a goal and giving up? I didn't really sleep last night, and in fact, at one moment there was some kind of loud sound. And I looked straight at him and I said, "Say it again. Say it again, buddy."